Good morning, everybody. We have a mixed trade in the grain markets here early on Monday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. May corn futures up 3/4 of a cent at 5.39 and 3/4. We have May soybeans down 2 3/4 at 14.10 and a half. May Chicago wheat is up 2.5 cents at 6.41. May Kansas City wheat is up half a cent at 6.04. May spring wheat up 2 1/4 at 6.36. If my video and audio quality is reduced a little bit today, I am traveling, so I apologize for that. I'll be back in the office tomorrow morning. Today we've got a NOPA crush report. This is the February report. It will be out at 11 o'clock Central Time. Looking for a really good crush number again, 168.6 million bushels of soybeans. That's the expectation. That would be the best for any February on record. Still quite a bit behind January. That's kind of a seasonal deal, but a real strong crush number expected here today. Overall, USDA is still projecting that processors here in the U.S. will crush a record amount of soybeans this year. 2.2 billion bushels is the expectation for the current marketing year, and that would account for 48% of all demand for U.S. soybeans in total if the estimates are reality here. NOPA handles, of course, 95% of all soybeans processed in the U.S., so we're looking for another really good crush number here at 11 o'clock. Rains and snow hit a good chunk of the U.S. plains and also the western corn belt over the weekend. This is kind of turning into like a drought-busting event for Nebraska. There are some parts of Nebraska that are going to see their wettest March on record because of this storm, and that's a big deviation from the drought that has been in place for the last several months. So this is a big deal. It was snow in some areas. I think in the west they caught snow. I think further east it was rain, and this went into western Iowa. This went into a lot of Kansas. Missouri saw some significant rain. There are a lot of areas that saw some pretty good rain over the weekend that really needed it too. Of course, your areas further north, like say the northern part of South Dakota, a lot of North Dakota is still very dry. You still got some problematic areas, but this system over the weekend, I think, is a big deal for a lot of areas, and there may be some follow-up stuff here too. Corn planting in Brazil is accelerating. It was reported that farmers planted 20% of the country's second corn crop just last week. So they're up to about 77% total, still behind 89% from last year, but they can catch up really quickly here. A lot of Brazil, it looks like, is going to be drier than normal over the next couple of weeks. Argentina is slated to see a near normal rainfall here during the same period the next 2 weeks. Fund traders remain very heavily long the grain complex. Same story as it's been for months now. Large money managers were small net buyers of corn and soybeans in the week ending last Tuesday, small net sellers of wheat. At Friday's close, funds were estimated to be net long 331,000 contracts of corn, 132,000 contracts of soybeans, and 8,000 contracts of SRW wheat. So still the big extreme net long is in the corn market, but still a pretty hefty long in the soybean market and what I would call a modest net long in the SRW wheat market. Now, speaking of that, funds, large speculators will be able to hold much larger positions in the grain markets beginning today. This is not anything new, but CME Group notified CFTC back in October, I believe, of its intent to increase speculative position limits in some commodity markets. What that means is that these large funds, big speculators that we talk about all the time, the amount of the positions that they're able to hold is limited by the regulators and by the exchanges. And these limits are going to increase very drastically. As an example, the limit in corn across all contracts, a large speculator, their previous limit was 33,000 contracts. It's going to go up to 57,800 contracts. That's an increase of 75%. In soybeans, it's going to be an increase of 82%. In wheat, in SRW wheat, it's going to be an increase of 60%. Some people would argue that this change will provide fund traders with a greater ability to push the markets around, manipulate price activity, that sort of thing. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case or not. Some people have argued that this is bullish because we're in a bull market, and there's a lot of money floating around that needs a place to go, and now these large entities are able to throw more money in the grain markets. I'm not sure if that's the case either, but in any case, it is a fact that today these larger limits go into effect. President Biden is planning the first major federal tax hike since 1993. Bloomberg reported on this morning. They said that unlike the 1.9 trillion COVID-19 stimulus act, the next initiative, and I don't know what they mean by the next initiative, I guess there's more stimulus coming, which is expected to be even bigger, won't rely just on government debt as a funding source. Some of the proposals here reportedly include raising the corporate tax from 20 or to 28% from 21 currently, limiting tax preferences for pass-through businesses like S-corps, LLCs, and partnerships, raising income taxes on individuals earning more than $400,000, expanding the reach of the estate tax, and higher capital gains tax rates for individuals earning 1 million or more. Now, there's a lot of legislative hurdles to get through, of course, here, and this should not be a surprise to anybody. I mean, this is what he campaigned on, was all of these things. So this will be really fun for a lot of us small business owners out there, especially the pass-through stuff, S corps, LLCs, partnerships. That should be a whole bunch of fun. Cattle market finished Friday higher. Feeders were higher. Cash trade and cattle kind of stuck in the mud again at 114, so no real change there. In the outside markets this morning, we've got the Dow Jones up 90 points. We've got the S&P up 5. We've got the gold and silver up just a little bit. The U.S. dollar is up a little bit. Crude oil is floating around unchanged here, 65.57 in the April WTI contract. We've got the bond market up just a little bit. If you guys need some more information from me, visit my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan. If you'd like to know what I'm doing every single day of the week, check out that subscription service. Let me know if you have any questions about it. I'll be back in the office tomorrow. Again, I apologize if the video and audio quality was not as good today. I'm working remotely, but I will be back in the office tomorrow. Everyone have a good one. We'll talk to you same time tomorrow morning.